Hi, folks. Jason Steele, broker, your Saugeen Shores and area real estate representative. This is Saugeen Shores 20 and 20, episode 3. I'm here with Dan MacArthur of DMC Residential Home Inspections here in beautiful Port Elgin. How you doing, Dan?
Really good. How are you, Jason?
Not too bad, buddy. So, the importance of a home inspection. Why don't we start on that?
Well, people are out buying homes. They want to make sure that the home is sound. It's a sound investment, and it's going to be a place that they may not have any major problems with for quite some time. So it's important to have a home inspection done to be able to identify any of those things that may be hidden.
Excellent. And I mean, it's more of a proactive approach to home ownership, correct? Like you're not running around looking for bad things per se, but you're giving people a view of their home to be proactive in the ownership.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I encourage homeowners to follow me around when I do this, because it's a good opportunity for them to get to know the home a lot better.
Except for the dads, right? Because sometimes the dads can be crazy. I know that with showings too, and I get it. I'm a dad. They mean well, but sometimes they just can drive you crazy because they know it all.
Well, there are lots of questions, and to be very truthful, I encourage the questions because it provides an opportunity for them to get better to know the home, and if there's any problems associated with the home. So it can be a good thing.
Absolutely. And now, what kind of experience do you bring to the home inspection market, and is there training? Is there like certification, that sort of thing?
Yeah, definitely. Well, myself, I've renovated numerous homes and built homes in the past, and I'm currently finishing building a home up near Tobermory. So I've had that experience, not necessarily meaning you need that experience to be a good home inspector, but I believe it helps. As far as training, I looked at becoming a home inspector as something that I would enjoy doing, and since getting into it, I've found that I do really enjoy it. But there's so much out there in terms of training for home inspection, like community colleges and different associations providing the training. I went with InterNACHI because to me that was the best approach. I do have a good sound knowledge base to build from, so I was able to enlist and take the training required for certification. More to come in that area with respect to inspectors. In Ontario, because every province is different, every region is different. So it's important for homeowners out there to ensure that one, your inspector that you do choose, you're comfortable with, and they're knowledgeable and certified. Also, a good thing to look for is insurance for inspectors to make sure that they have insurance as well, and that you feel comfortable.
Definitely. There's lots of choice, obviously, around the areas. But you have to ask around, talk to people, talk to realtors, because they're always a good indication of the inspector to use.
Yeah, no, that's right. I've worked with many realtors, initially focusing on this area, but I found as the longer I'm in business, the more calls I get from outside the area. Absolutely. As well. So I've gone as far as Collingwood, Tobermory, Goderich, and in between, but I do like to stay close to home if I can.
For sure. Now, we're standing in my listing at 437 Buckby here in Port Elgin. A newer home, still would recommend a home inspection on a home, even, brand new, couple years old or 100 years old. And a house like this, what would you be looking for?
No, and you're absolutely correct. Doesn't matter if it's a new home or an older home. To me, every home has an issue, and it's important to know that no home is immune. But for newer homes, some of the things you look for is newer homes are settling, building practice, that sort of thing. Homes aren't manufactured per se in a factory somewhere. They're put together by tradespeople and sometimes many different tradespeople. So it's important to look at the structure. To make sure it's sound, building practices are followed, as well as any safety issues that could be potentially involved with the home. I've had experience where a lot of homeowners will work to put in their own deck out back per se. And it's very important that codes and these sorts of things are followed if you plan to do that, because you can actually inadvertently create more problems than addressing. So it's important to, if you are a homeowner and plan to do that, to save money or just enjoy doing that type of work. Follow up with codes and standards to ensure that you're doing it properly.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest things I've run into. You know, I'm very diligent, as you know, when I bring my buyers through a home, is that people do things without permits. And when they do it without permits, they don't do it the right way.
Yeah, no, and that's some of the challenges or frustrations from my end is that I see more often than not as these things occur, and it not only happens with decks outside, but also plumbing and electrical and these sorts of things. So I always keep my eye out for that because it can cause more problems in the future than it
Absolutely.
fixes. So.
Absolutely. And you go on roofs and the whole bit.
I'm sorry.
You go onto rooftops looking at shingles.
Yeah, definitely. I do climb up on the roofs. The only time I don't is depending on inclement weather. If it's the pitch is too steep or it's wet. Sometimes with steel roofing, I don't want to damage or dent roofs, so I make a safety call at that point. But I go everywhere I can, little crawl spaces, and sometimes where there's spaces I can't get into, I do have a scope where I can feed a little camera in and have a look around.
That's ideal.
So that's ideal for those places where you just can't see with the human eye.
Excellent. So people needing an upcoming home inspection, what's the best way to reach you, Dan?
By all means, I have my website, www.dmcresidencialinspectionservices.ca, or give me a call. My contact information is on there, and I'm on Facebook as well. So call or text to my number, and I'd be happy to get back in touch with you, and hopefully we can inspect a home for you.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, Dan. Thank you so much for the information today. Remember, folks, you're buying a home, whether new, used, old, get a home inspection. It is worth every penny, even just for the proactive approach of home ownership and how to maintain it throughout the seasons.
Great. Thank you, Jason.
Excellent. Have a very Merry Christmas, folks. Thank you so much, Dan, for coming.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.